Thinking about retiring before age 65? You're not alone. Many people dream of calling it quits at 60, 62, or even earlier. But there's one big issue that can throw a wrench into those plans: health insurance. Because unless you have coverage through a spouse or some other plan, you'll be on your own until Medicare kicks in at 65. And those years in between, they can be surprisingly expensive. So in this video, I'm going to walk through what happens if you retire before you're eligible for Medicare, what your options are for getting coverage, how much it could cost you, and how to plan around it. I'm Kerry Green, financial advisor and co-founder of Green Era Financial, and I help people close to or in retirement to get the most out of life with their money. And health coverage is one of the most overlooked factors in early retirement planning. So let's break this down. If you retire before age 65, you don't qualify for Medicare yet. And unless you have retiree health benefits through a former employer, which are becoming increasingly rare, you'll need to find your own insurance coverage. And that's not just a minor detail. For many people, health insurance is the single most expensive cost in the early retirement years. And unlike your mortgage or utilities, this one tends to go up over time. So if you're building your retirement plan and thinking about leaving work at 60 or 62, your first question needs to be, how am I going to stay covered until Medicare begins at age 65? So what are your actual options if you retire early? Well, let's go through them one by one. Option 1, COBRA coverage. COBRA allows you to stay on your employer's health plan after you leave your job, usually for up to 18 months. The big catch is that you'll be paying the full premium yourself without the employer subsidy, which can be a real shock. It's not uncommon for COBRA to cost anywhere from $600 to $1,000 per month per person, depending on the plan. But it can be a good bridge if you're only a year or so away from Medicare and want to keep the same doctors and coverage. Option 2, the ACA Marketplace. The second option is to buy coverage through the Affordable Care Act Marketplace, ACA Marketplace. And here's where things can get interesting. If your income is low enough in retirement, say because you're drawing from Roth accounts or living on savings, you might qualify for a significant subsidy that reduces your monthly premiums. In fact, many early retirees who do this strategically are paying just a few $100s a month or less for very solid insurance plans. The key here is controlling your modified adjusted gross income. So tax planning and withdrawal strategy play a huge role here. If you draw from Roth IRAs or taxable brokerage accounts with low capital gains, you might be able to keep your income in a low enough range to get those subsidies. Option 3, spousal coverage. If your spouse is still working, this can be a game changer. Getting added to your spouse's employer health plan is often the easiest and most cost-effective option. Just be sure to plan ahead. Some employer plans don't allow mid-year additions unless there's a qualifying event. So if retirement is coming up, your spouse's HR department should be involved in the planning process for this. Option number 4, private health insurance or health share ministries. Some people opt for private insurance directly from insurers outside of the ACA Marketplace. This usually makes the most sense if you don't qualify for ACA subsidies or want a very specific type of plan. Others choose health share ministries. These are not insurance, they're faith-based cost-sharing arrangements. They can be cheaper, but they also come with limitations, such as no guarantees of coverage, exclusions for pre-existing conditions, and often no coverage for things like preventative care or prescriptions. But it's not a bad option for everyone. You just need to go in with your eyes open and understand how they work. Okay, now let's talk numbers. If you don't qualify for subsidies, a silver tier ACA plan for a 60 to 64-year-old can easily cost $800 to $1,200 per month per person. If you're a couple retiring early, that means $1,600 to $2,400 per month out of pocket, potentially more than your mortgage. On the other hand, if you manage your income to qualify for premium tax credits, that cost could drop dramatically to a few $100s or less. And that's not counting deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket maximums. you may still have $5,000 to $10,000 per year in healthcare expenses per person, even with insurance. This is why health insurance isn't just a line item, it's a core part of your retirement budget. So if you're thinking about retiring before Medicare age, here's what I recommend. First, run the numbers. Get quotes for coverage on healthcare.gov and see how your projected income affects subsidies. Second, look at your account mix. Having Roth IRAs and taxable brokerage accounts gives you more flexibility to manage your income, and that flexibility can lead to major savings on healthcare premiums. Third, consider the timing of your Social Security benefits. Taking Social Security early increases your taxable income, which could reduce ACA subsidies. So your claiming strategy and your healthcare costs are linked more than most people realize. And finally, build healthcare into your retirement timeline. If you're 2 or 3 years away from Medicare and your plan doesn't work without subsidies, maybe you delay your retirement or adjust your withdrawal strategy to make it all work. So is early retirement still worth it? Yes, if you plan for it. Healthcare is one of the most overlooked and underestimated challenges in early retirement. But with the right income strategy and account structure, many people retire at 60, 62, or even earlier and do just fine. Just don't wing it, run the numbers, look at your options, and factor it into your timeline. And if you want help figuring out how to bridge the gap to Medicare or how to build a retirement income plan that works for you, you can always feel free to reach out to me or visit us at greenarrowfinancial.com. I'm always happy to help if I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.